And just like that, we're back. Welcome to another episode of Chris Sees the Internet. And we're back because like we haven't been around for a minute.
We're back.
We're back. OG Hip Hop Eddie's here.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
Yeah, man. So let's see. Why haven't we been doing episodes?
We took some time off, and then we jumped in, and then we kind of jumped right back out.
We came in like with one episode, really.
Yeah, and then it just kind of jumped right back out, man. But we are back now.
But why? The question is why?
I don't know, man. I'm trying to think. After the break.
Good.
Timing? Man, I don't know, man. I'm not.
I mean, you don't know what you were doing?
I
think we started doing the ponchos. Like, we had to do a bunch of poncho stuff. And then that's kind of like...
Yeah, there was a lot of...
We were rehearsing a lot for Thought Fest. The last they talked to us was right before Thought Fest.
Yeah.
That's the last time.
Oh, yes.
Put up
And
a
then
show.
when we got back to the season, we were in full force with the Thought Fest.
Yeah, and then we had to
the
go into
Invisible
Thought
Ponchos.
Fest. All excuses.
I mean, I was just blanked anyways.
What's that?
I was blanked. I mean, I didn't have anything until you brought that up, and then I'm like, oh, yes, we were doing that.
Yeah. So should
was
people...
Was I fogged?
So people that are watching, should they be discouraged?
No.
Why?
Because you got to just, there's dips in life. And this is a dip in this show. And the show took a dip. But the dip has been overcome. And then the movement
has overcome.
The movement has moved.
It overcomed all over them. Yeah, we're back. I think we're taking the approach now. I feel like we've now, in fact, I say I feel like just to make it sound like maybe there isn't a chance we did this, but we have redone this show like 4 times now, right? We've had 4 different iterations of this show. And
it's like a variety show almost.
Well, no, it is
with one name.
Not.
With one name.
I mean, if the variety plays out over 4 different seasons, like. But other than that, it's just been different things each time. Yeah. Like, it's been a different thing. And then we weren't interviewing people really. And then we went back to interviewing people. This episode, we have maybe that's what this thing is. Because like the conversation that we have on this episode is with the Indigenous cats. It was supposed to be an interview, but we were having audio issues. So I think the way we had to record it on Zoom and then sync it up. And so like we weren't in full, at least I wasn't in full like interview mode. Cause the entire time I'm talking to them, I'm in the background trying to see if I can save the audio.
Right.
And what it ended up becoming was more of a conversation of us kind of like hopefully trying to help them out and point them in some right directions.
Right.
Career-wise, more so. And not so much on, like, the actual moves that they're going to make. They do that all on their own. Just kind of, like, on the mindset and, like, the awareness of them. Because if you don't know the Indigenous cats, they reside in the LA area?
Santa Clarita.
Santa Clarita. Near, like, Magic Mountain. I feel like everybody from there always uses Magic Mountain too as like their reference point. They're like, oh yeah, by Magic Mountain. But they're from there and they've been making a lot of noise in the underground and independent hip hop scene. So much so that they were not even really aware. They had an inkling. They were kind of like, maybe we're making a buzz. Maybe we're doing some cool things. And what the conversation ended up being is because at PlatformCollection, we watch the scenes. We talk to people in different scenes and in different environments in the underground and indie hip hop scene, especially in Southern California. And so we're always monitoring the culture. So when somebody's doing good or they have quote unquote the buzz, we usually know who that is. And plus, we work with Thought Fest, so we're always looking to book new and emerging artists. And the Indigenous Cats are those artists.
Yes,
they're two of those artists. There are a couple. Because I mean, look, here's the truth. I don't think we found out anything about the Indigenous Cats other than that they're super dope.
Yeah.
I think we got like the vibe of them. Both of them are like, I think if you watch this, you become a fan of them because you're just like, oh, they seem like they're dope people, you know? But really it just became a conversation, with us kind of just, I don't know, rooting for them, encouraging them.
Lots of advising. A lot of them probably answered a lot of doubts and questions they had within each other, and even individually as well.
And because they worked for Eddie when Eddie was managing the Happiness of Pursuit Festival, the main stage. Which again, that was we talked to you guys we were supposed to do like a whole thing from Thought Fest and all that. Turns out we're going to use most of that footage for a documentary. We can't use it on the show. Should have been there. Yes. We'll see you next year. But anyways, Eddie was the festival main stage runner, and they were his runners. They volunteered to work in the back because they just as they should, as any emerging artist should. They're trying to learn every part of this. So they were literally helping out backstage, ushering artists, from the main stage around. And learning. And so Eddie got to talk to them there too, had a really dope conversation with them. They mentioned that in the, again, I guess I can't call it an interview because it wasn't an interview. It was just a conversation.
Yeah, the conversation.
With the homies, the Indigenous Cats. I'm a fan. Eddie's a fan. We're fans at Platform Collection of them. And hopefully you will be too. I suggest maybe you're about to, if you've never heard of them, look them up right now on Instagram. Indigenous Cats, right? I think it's just Indigenous Cats.
Posits.
And listen, because they're dope. And then you'll see kind of follow them, follow their movement. You'll see why we wanted to talk to them. And I'm always very curious about like the trajectory of artists, and especially artists in the underground and independent hip hop scene. I like to see when somebody gets a buzz, what's causing that, what types of people are creating buzzes for themselves. And I think my evaluation of or maybe I'll save that for after that. I'll save that for after. So what we're going to do is we're just going to jump right into it.
Yep.
This is the conversation that we had with the Indigenous Cats. Again, horrible interviewing job. I hope they didn't think that was like a normal interview.
No, but, I think we've
at some point I think we just kind of realized we were just having a conversation,
right.
And that we might use the content. I think I even told them, hey, we're going to try to use this content some way or somehow, but we're going to put it on the show. I thought it'd be cool, and once I found out the audio was at least savable, I thought it would be cool and interesting to especially new artists starting out and artists that are maybe like catching a buzz in their city, for them to kind of hear like the mind state of other artists, so you can kind of see, oh, you're not alone. The conversation it's emotional. Tears get shed a little bit. Yeah. I'm not bullshitting you. It was a real conversation between artists that are at different places, in their careers and sharing energy with each other. And this is what it looks like. This is what it really looked like. This is not an interview. This is a conversation with the Indigenous Cats, and then I'll kind of sum it up when we come back. So check it out. Let everybody know who you are and tell us your guys' names.
What up? What up? We the Indigenous Cats. My name is Complex.
What's up, everybody? My name's Ina.
And we're grateful to be on. Much love.
Yo, and you guys are from what area? Like where are you guys from originally, and then like where you guys at now?
I was born in like Burbank, North Hollywood, Sun Valley, so like the 818, and we stay out by Six Flags right now. So over here in Santa Clarita is like where we're at the moment, and then of course, Yeah,
I was born in the States. I was born actually in Utah, but then came here when I was just a little baby, like 4 years old. My dad was like a truck driver, so uh, we're like moving a lot. So.
And what about what about your guys' path to music? Like, were you guys originally like, where does the creative part come from each of you? Like, is that something that your guys' family already did? Are you the only creative people in your family? Like, how did it work for each of you?
Man, I mean, my pops was into like classics, but I think hip hop came to me more like in a kind of I was by myself a lot, I was in school and it was kind of a sad time for me, and hip hop came in a good way. So like hip hop, that's how it came to me. And then after that, it was just growth. So it's kind of a dark time in my life, and freestyling and all that really lifted me up. And it's been a journey since then. I don't know for Ina.
My sisters brought hip hop to me, or like, they guided me towards hip hop because they're older, right? And they always listen to like the best stuff, right? When I'm young and you're just like looking up to your older sisters. So, and thankfully they had a nice selection of music. But you know what? They're pretty creative. I'm pretty creative. My sister, we're all pretty like artsy, that's for sure. So,
Okay. Musically, or just like or everybody does something different?
three of us musically, and just in their own ways. But like my sister's a DJ, and then my other sister sings. I think the singing comes from being raised in a Filipino household where you're just karaoke,
Got you.
$20, whoever want to do karaoke, stuff like that.
Yeah.
No, yeah. So, and I feel like, because my childhood, like my memories from it is so chaotic, so I feel like in that type of chaos, you could you find ways to make it into art, if you're able to. So it's kind of what I did. It's very hectic growing up.
Why, for both of you guys, why hip hop though?
I don't know. Just the sounds. And
yeah, for me it was I had a cousin when I was younger that really tuned me into like Wu-Tang and all that, and it just became kind of like I don't know, it just attracted me. And then for me it was freestyling, to be honest. Like I started freestyling, and it would just be freestyling and freestyling, and then it just what drew me, to be honest. It's nothing I can really pinpoint. It's just I don't know, man. Hip hop just speaks to me, man.
Was it ever anything else? Was it ever like any other genre? Have other genres leaked into like your guys' creative process?
No, for sure, Ina, for sure. But you know what? When I was little, I would actually, for some reason, I don't know why, every time I would go to bed, I would just see myself singing on stage.
Nice.
I wasn't rapping, I was singing, but like I don't know how I was singing, but I like a lot of genres. I like oldies, I like reggae, I like R&B, I like hip hop, I love soul. So it's it's definitely a good amount of mix. It just depends on the mood. Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
What about you?
Well, I sing.
Right.
So I kind of started off singing. That's where it came from. And then when I met him, and we started Indigenous Cats, I wanted to do kind of like what he was. I wanted to try out, spitting, and it just became like a fun thing for me. Freestyling with him was kind of like how we spent our Friday nights.
Yo, Ina, when we first started making music, she would just sing, and now she's a monster, yo. Like it's crazy the amount of growth, and it's what I mean.
I'm okay,
She's a beast.
But did you, I mean, obviously you had kind of like a front row seat to like her creative process. When you look at it now, are you like, oh, she was a natural, or were you like, oh, you saw her put in the reps to get to a certain point? Like as an MC yourself, like How do you analyze it?
You know what? I do want to say it was kind of like a natural, but because she had been singing prior to, so her voice was already there. You know what I mean? But she has put in mad work in these last 4 years that we've been together, and like I've seen a lot of work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's a respect as an MC, like to see another MC become an MC.
Yeah.
It definitely much do. She's put in work, you know, just to catch up, and now she's surpassing. So it's good. It's good to see that.
Surpassing what?
Nice. Hey.
Do you feel that way? Do you feel like you're surpassing, you know, where you were at one? Like how quick do you feel like you've advanced through your own like creative process?
Well, you know what? Not a lot of people have like a partner that is like a fucking lyrical genius. And so just as he had a front row seat with me, I had a front row seat of him. And I learned a lot, I think, pretty quickly. I don't know, because I'd ask him, I'd be like, oh, does this sound good? And he's honest, you know, no matter how much it's like, damn. But, you know, in the long run, it's helped me a lot. So, but surpassing, I don't, you know, I'm too humble to say I'm surpassing.
Yeah, but you know, like, I mean, I've heard you sing, I've seen you perform. There's obviously thought put into the way you guys present yourselves, the way you guys are on stage. You're obviously aware of like the performance dynamic, you know, that you guys, because you guys are, I mean, you guys know and have been in, you know, similar circles that we have been in as well, and you guys currently still are in those circles, and you know that there's various levels of performance, you know what I mean, from our peers, from people that are around us, and you can tell that when you watch you guys, that you guys put thought into your performance, you know what I mean, like you're not there just reciting, because you guys, you've seen the difference. There's artists, and sometimes it works great for them. But you guys in particular seem to like understand the level of like the show. Like there's a show. You're still putting on a show for people. So go ahead.
I think it's because, man, this year we've just been booking a lot of shows. Like, thankful to the creator for sure. But and I think that's sharpened our blades. So, and we've messed up at a lot of shows, and we've kind of learned our lesson. And it's like, we don't like to go to a show unprepared, because you know, you want to show you want to give your best.
Yeah.
Actually, in something that you love to do. So, and you know what? We don't have too much music out on, you know, like YouTube, Spotify, and all that. We're like mainly performances. But we're working on that. It's just it's taking some time, but it's coming.
Yeah, I mean, I think that you know, like one of the things we've always done at PlatformCollection is like, it's just kind of like a natural thing that we do in paying attention to like what's going on in the various scenes that we operate in. I feel like in doing that I've seen the name Indigenous Cats for quite some time now, but I feel like people see you, and correct me if I'm wrong, people see you as very much a new entity, right? Like they see you as a fresher, new entity, even though you guys are artists in your own right. Separately, you're artists in your own right, but they see this as like maybe a new iteration of what you guys had done on solo or by yourselves, or I don't know. Because like I discovered it like everybody else in once it was already you guys. Like that's how I discovered it. And then I kind of like in doing my own research saw your own like paths. And that always interests me, because I'm always wondering like if you guys see yourselves as an entity that's getting attention right now.
You know, the way I always feel super grateful. Like we're definitely some young MCs, like barely coming to the scene, and lately we've been receiving a lot of love, like more than
Yeah.
It's been a great blessing, like just to experience that happening. And a lot of people have been telling us that exact same thing. They're like, "Hey, yo, Indigenous Cats, you guys know, like you guys got a, you know, like a buzz going on," and then
Yeah.
It's just I'm just grateful, I'm just grateful to keep learning. We just want to learn and keep it humble, like people like yourselves, like, learn experience. Hopefully we could even make a track together, you know what I mean? And start joining.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
The goal is just like experiences like this, like we meet up, what we learn from someone that's got time in the game or any experience, we're extremely grateful for that. So that's what we're looking for, and just to build and keep humble and keep
That's,
humble. And then that's the goal right now. Just keep crafting the skill, meeting people, learning, keep humble, and keep growing. And that's yeah. But thank you for saying that. Yeah, it's we do feel that little buzz. It feels good, and it feels we just want to keep pushing it with that momentum in a humble way.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, and it's a I don't ever see like an issue with somebody like acknowledging the fact that they're getting buzz, because it is actually happening. And I, if anything, I feel like if you're going to be a professional artist and somebody who's able to find a way to, especially I feel like in what it seems like with what you guys make, it's important to you to not lose your integrity, right? Like that comes through your music. So if you're going to be able to turn that into an actual business, then it is important that you know that if you're getting the buzz or not. Like it's going to be a North Star for you a lot of the times, because as you guys know, and I'm sure you're finding out even more so, like there isn't like a graduated process as an independent artist. Like the graduation of being an independent artist is simply accepting the fact that you're an independent artist all the time, like living in that space, never being anything else but what it is that you are. That's really all it is. And then all the other things are you just lining up strategic placements, strategic places where you're going to be at, finding your audience, starting that discussion with your audience. Because I think one of the things we talk about on this show a lot is the necessity for artists to have a dialogue with their audience and concern themselves with no discussion with a dialogue with other artists. Like that, because that's not your job. Like we have a tendency to do that because we see who we're on the bill with, and we become part of the quote unquote like artist community. But the reality is the journey of the Indigenous Cats is a solo journey. This is a journey that you guys are only going to experience. Nobody can tell you how to be you. The thing that's working with you guys is that you guys have found a way to be yourselves in an authentic way that's obviously cutting through, right? It's obviously cutting through. Regardless of you being humble or not, I think it's irrelevant. I think it's important for you to know how you're seen and what place you're in. And I think you guys are in a place like that. You guys are in a place where at least I know like peers of mine are having discussions about you guys, and those peers I put weight on their opinions. You know what I mean? Like, so I think that's okay. Like, and I don't think that's you guys not being humble. It's kind of you being professional, really. That's really what it is.
You know what? We've been planting some seeds, and for a long time, like the first 2 years, even the third year, like it was just like, dang, and this year it feels like the seed has sprouted and it's growing, right?
Yeah.
And I think what really, really just set us off was we did a mic sesh with the underground hip hop blog, and
I saw that.
That just like we've never done something like that before. We've never done a mic sesh, so we didn't know it was gonna take us. We were just like, wow, this is like super dope underground hip hop blog, and it just kind of had like a mini viral, right? So
Right. And I think that's at a certain point, it becomes like the more and more you understand who you're talking to specifically. Because, right, like I think a lot of the times, and I feel like, both of you guys have a skill level that it's not like, I think, and this speaks to the buzz that you have. It doesn't feel like you're new. You know what I mean? In your skill level. Like that's not what people are noticing. People aren't noticing like, oh, like they're these two fresh young kids who are like, they're getting it together. Like we're watching them grow. It feels like you guys are kind of there's I've seen some performances online, and I've seen other people and heard other people talk about there's a polish to what you guys do. So that speaks volumes. And I think it's important to talk to artists like you guys because, you know, there's a part of what we do at Platform Collection that, you know, we yearn for artists to be able to understand those parts of this game. You know what I mean? Like at some point you have to understand like, oh, it is just about reps. Like whether it's reps in your garage, getting your music down correctly, your craft.
Practice.
Right. And I think that kind of goes over people's heads a lot of the times in that they think it's just something that you say, as opposed to it literally being the bread and butter of what your career is going to be. You can literally define what it's going to be on how much work you actually put in. That it's transferable. You know what I mean? And I feel like artists like yourselves are not only carving your own lane in that you guys are definitely occupying a space in that wasn't being occupied before. What the way you talk about what you talk about and how you present it, that wasn't there before, and now it is, and that's dope. You know?
That's what's up, man. Just right up.
Yeah, without a doubt, man. I definitely think that it's a. I like watching. To me, I'm infinitely curious about the roots of like seeing the roots grow from when people start off, you know, because we've seen it now. I mean, we've interviewed, you know, hundreds of people, bro, like hundreds over the years in different shows, radio shows, a bunch of different things. And being able to watch like the trajectory at a certain point, there are things that look familiar, right? Like, because we are hopefully like doing justice to like the paths that were laid down before us. You know what I mean? But sometimes not everybody gets that right. Sometimes people, you know, start their own path and then they become a new thing. And then you watch them. Like I can tell you, I remember when we first interviewed Vel the Wonder is a great example. Like when we first interviewed her years ago, and then to see now the amount of influence that she's actually had like on the scene is tremendous. It's tremendous. But at one point she was like literally sitting where you're sitting, thinking what you're thinking and doing what you're doing, just doing the reps and consistently staying to more and more discovering the character that she has created. Even though it's an authentic character, it's really who she is. But defining that for other people is a skill. Because you might know who you are, but actually getting other people to see it the way you see it in your head, that's the skill. That's the thing that we're all chasing. You know what I mean? And I feel like that you guys, whatever you're doing naturally, it's starting to come across. And I can tell you for us, we're excited to watch it grow.
Yep.
You know, I'm definitely watching it grow. And of course, anything we could ever do for you guys, obviously, you know, let us know. I'm excited. Like I said, I'm just excited to watch it. I'm a fan for sure.
Thank you. Thank you, man. Your words go a long way, right? It encourages us to keep going, keep doing those late, like getting home from work and recording. And
man, you got me pumped up right now. I'm just like, man, feel like working on a track.
that was really nice. Very, very. We're gonna take that in for sure.
Yeah, please do, guys, and know that for whatever reason, if there's ever doubt that like comes up in your head, know this. I can tell you this, like and you guys know this, like literally, I gain nothing from telling you the truth or lying to you. I gain nothing from it. So my justification for telling you exactly what I see from the outside is the idea that the many times I wish somebody would have done that for me. Like, oh, I didn't know where I was at. Like, I didn't know if the buzz was real, or maybe I was just feeling it, or maybe I just heard that, or
the buzz was real.
Right, the buzz was real. But you know what I'm saying? Like, and that's what's dope. So like, to me as an artist, I know what that does for me. It makes me at the very least not have to think about that as much anymore and go like, okay, it's working. Let's get on with it. And so I think whatever you guys have done has placed you in a place within the scene and around the people that are willing to share those kind of things with you. And that speaks to you guys. That doesn't speak to us. That speaks to you guys for whatever, it just might be the way you guys are, you know, the cloth you're cut from, like the way you guys are raised or whatever, how you think, but it has gotten you around a lot of great people. I can tell you that for sure. And so ask shitloads of questions. Always
Yeah.
ask shitloads of questions because I feel like you guys are in a place where people are willing to answer them for you. People want to answer questions for you guys, you know? So take advantage of that.
And all,
Much love, man. Much love.
What do you guys got planned for the year? Like, what are you guys thinking musically and artistically?
So we're actually dropping a single within the next couple of weeks.
Dope.
Nice.
No, a single, Indigenous cat single.
Okay, yeah.
It's wild. It's a wild track. It's like it's getting mastered right now.
Dope.
Right now, but like we submitted our final revision to the homie, and if it sounds good, maybe we can have it by the end of this week.
Ina got
Nice.
a whole album about to come out, and it's fire. So she has her own little solo album.
Been working on it for
a while.
For 3 years.
It's fire.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Congratulations.
Yeah.
There's old Ina vibes, and then there's some new Ina vibes, but I'm releasing it on November 11th of 2022.
Veterans Day.
Super dope. Please come back and promote that when it drops. Maybe we can play some of the music on the show. Man. I think that it's you guys have it's looking up for you guys, man. Just so you know,
Yes.
Artist to artist, it's looking up for you guys. It's dope. And like I said, we're definitely cheering for you. I want to hear more of the story. I want you guys to keep coming back. Please, anything you guys are promoting, please come back. Or if you just want to shoot the shit, please come back. It's all good. It's what we like to do on this show.
Yeah.
And at Platform Collection, we definitely want to be a service to whatever you guys plan. And then please also share with people like what's a good way for them to kind of like support you right now? Like what's a good way? Like if they just like what they hear or like they like your vibe, how can they support you?
You could support us we just dropped a new line of merch. So I mean, we have
Nice.
things right here.
Yes, we just got some merch, so that'd be a good way to show us some love and honestly,
that's just one way.
the way people been showing us love, just like right now, like it really means the world to us right now. Like just hearing people like dope artists, you know what I mean, that we respect in the game, letting us know like, hey, keep going, stay together, do your thing, keep going. Hey, I love y'all music. Keep going, showing us love, even like a comment, everything right now. We're just soaking it in, and we appreciate everything. So like that, any way to show love, it doesn't have to be a shirt. It could just be some words like this right now. Like this for me, I instantly fuck with you guys heavy, man. Like I already did, but now like getting to know your platform and you're just hearing your words, just really opened my heart to you guys, and I appreciate y'all, man.
Man, I appreciate that. Yeah. We appreciate you, man, and I appreciate the integrity you guys put into what you do. To me, that's super important. It's something that I think I've seen too many people put to the side for the sake of the buzz, and to see you guys getting the buzz off of that, actually, like off of like being who you guys are and staying true. I think that ultimately what our job is that, like, it's our job to be an example that's an option. You know what I mean? Like with all the shit, all the way, I don't know how y'all grew up, but I know, it wasn't necessarily easy for me growing up. And I know like the more options I had, the better I was off, and so if people see you guys as an option, as, we can talk about what we want to talk about and how we want to talk about it. And we don't have to really bend. And we can, and the universe kind of finds a place to fit you in. You know what I mean? Like that's it. You guys don't look or act or rap like anybody else, and it didn't matter. You know what I mean? Like in fact, it was the best part of it. The best part of it was that you guys weren't like anybody else, and I want more people to know that. You know, because I feel like ultimately, even as an artist, I never stop learning. So I'm continuously learning that journey. And I feel like us as artists, if we're doing that well, I think that is probably our job. You know what I mean? I think that's the service we're supposed to be doing,
For sure. Yeah. Like it's still taking me like, it's when people come up to me and they're like, this is what you should be doing. I still have to tell myself, this is what I'm supposed to be doing because,
right.
So, I'm still trying to believe that, all of this is
happening. Yeah, it's called imposter syndrome. It's a super common thing. In fact, the more talented you are, the more you have it. And dude, I've done research on that for years. I've watched it. Yeah, it's called imposter syndrome because part of what it is just by the way that you've most likely have been raised or most likely have been taught early on. There's a part of you that feels like success is leaving something behind, but it isn't. Like, the reality is you need to be success so that you can have an example so that other people can shoot for that example. That's literally your job. And so when you accepting yourself completely as an artist, completely as that is just part of the natural, it means you're on the right path. If you having that feeling, if you're like, man, it's hard, that means you're on the right path because all great artists go through that. All of them.
I think it's important, because we're, as a young kid, we're raised, that you have to be a certain way, live a certain way. And for me, like actually taking that leap of, that leap into the unknown and, and really using my, my voice.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a trip. And I think that's where that imposterism comes from, right? Because fuck, like the hard childhoods, man.
I mean, guys, think about it though. Like the reality is everything. This reality right here is so very rare. It's very rare. One, the fact that you guys are already in a place where at the very least, you make music that other people enjoy and are willing to share and talk about and have conversation. That alone puts you in like the 1% of the population that is able to actually create art and share it and have it consumed. Like that's like the 1% of the population. So for it to be a struggle, it should be. It fucking should be. Like, let's be honest. Like, we're asking for a lot. Yeah. Like, you're literally asking to live off your feelings. Like, I want to live off my feelings. And so, like, I think the best thing you can do, especially where you guys are at right now, is like I said, grasp all the opportunities, but also don't run yourselves into a place where you think you need the opportunities. You don't need it. You've completed the part that you needed to do. You got on the radar. Now everyone's watching. Everyone's watching now. So the thing that you do next, just put a lot of time and thought into those things because you can do less. You don't have to do so much now because you're already on the radar. But the things you do now, people are going to expect that you take it up a level every time you do something. Because then that just tells everybody else, especially promoters, bookers, everybody, oh, they're for real. Like, this is a career for them because they're following suit with what all artists should do. They level up.
Word.
That consistency for sure.
Yep.
That was some really, 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 really good advice, man.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, man, we're always here, bro. Like I believe it or not, we have there is a small collective of us kind of that have these kind of conversations all the time. So we're always just, a call away. You guys get stuck on something or you guys want people to evaluate something, just let us know, dude. Like, for us, that part is important, that if we're going to call ourselves like a community, that there's actually an exchange. You know what I mean? Because I feel like too much, we clown about it all the time. Yeah. Me and Eddie are always laughing about it. How many like of those little circles of artists have you been in where everybody's just telling each other they're dope because nobody really feels like able to just be themselves and talk about the deeper things? Like, we could all be really helping each other because all our eyes are out there. We're seeing everything. If we all agree on like, yo, these people are good to work with, these people are trustworthy, these people are professional, like all those people will make all of our lives easier. Like, our infrastructure becomes strong, And so if it's just advice or if it's insight on something or literally you just want to pick our brains on something, please do. Mm-hmm. Please do. And don't think that it's ever like a bother. It's not. Like, I get as much out of it, these conversations, I get out the same thing out of it, dude. Because hearing that it's even important for you guys to hear this is dope.
Really was.
Yeah, it's a blessing.
Yeah, what you said right now is
you come with blessings.
Yeah,
blessings.
This became a fucking session, man.
Yeah,
a good one, man. I'm gonna have to like take notes, bro. I appreciate that. That's yeah. That's all I can say to everything you said. I've just been like, it's been like think, ding, ding, ding. My head every time. I'm like, yeah. It was. You know what? I think this just the way this whole interview came about. I think it was just the right time right now. It was really lag or anything. It was just right for these words to come out like that, because you hit the money right now, man. That's all I gotta say.
And there you have it, the Indigenous Cats. What did I tell you, man? They seem like just good souls. If that's if I'm not afraid of sounding a little woo woo.
No, not at all.
But yeah, they're just good people. The first time I met them, they seemed like that energy. The music they make, the art they make, it all kind of speaks to them being cool people who should be rooted for, people we believe should be cheered for. So let me sum it up kind of. I think what I got out of the conversation was that what at least we did for them was provide, like Eddie said, some confirmation. And like I mentioned in the conversation with them, is a lot of the times you do things as an artist and you don't know if they're necessarily working or not. Sometimes you're just doing the work and trying to push it out and you're just trying to keep up. But you don't know if people are connecting with it, or, you know, like we talked about the buzz, like if that is a real thing, or maybe you're just misinterpreting it, or maybe it's just people are being nice to you. That's a big one. Artists always think that people are just being nice to them.
Right.
I still struggle with that constantly. And I think that's what we kind of did with them with this conversation, is maybe we put some of those worries to ease at least a little bit. At least I hope so. I hope it put it to ease, because I think everything we had to say to them, the reason what I said what I had to say to them is because I feel like what they're doing is something real.
Right.
And that it's actually working. And I think anytime we can do that for each other as people, like give people confirmation on maybe something they're working on or something they're striving for. Because like I said, if you're doing this correctly, then most of the time you don't really know the full, like, you know, well, how would you say, like the full strength of your network, or like how much you're affecting people. Like you don't know the full strength of it because you're doing it. And sometimes you worry, and sometimes, you know, maybe everything isn't going as fast as you might have envisioned it, or, you know, sometimes you just need confirmation on that too. Like, oh, okay, I'm moving at a normal pace. It isn't going slow, or, you know, or it's moving too fast, or maybe it's not moving too fast, you know. I think that's what we kind of did for them. So, and I think what they do for us, I can say that too, because I think that'd be cool to say. One, they make great art. Yeah. And I'm a fan of their art. They do. The little I know of them as people, like I said, you know, we've been doing this for a while. Everyone around us are solid people, and I don't mind having them around us. They seem like solid people. Yes. I feel like I'm good at reading that.
I had them all day.
Yeah, and Eddie's worked with them.
They were great.
And in a business where professionalism and even being just cordial is not always a priority, when people do that, it sticks out. And the fact that they're all so talented, you know, extremely talented, both of them, is a plus. So that's dope. So there you go. Indigenous Cats, look them up. And they'll be back for sure. And we'll do a real interview. Like, me and Eddie were kind of thinking after, like, hold up, did we learn anything? Like we talked about, like, they're a couple for sure. That would have been cool to hear that story. They're, I mean, we're literally saying, I think about this. Let me just add this little asterisk. We're saying that, and we don't actually even really know. I'm just assuming they're a couple. Yes. So let's just assume they're a couple, and then that's a dope story. I would love to hear that. Like, I love to hear when two creatives find each other. That's kind of dope. So we'll get all of that. We'll bring them back soon. Yeah. How about that? We'll just say that. Soon. She has an album coming out soon, and they have records coming out soon. So we'll just bring them back again for that and do that interview. But there, you got to see some BTS stuff.
Yeah, just a conversation.
Right, and that's the kind of stuff, again, we were talking about the show shifting and becoming something new. I kind of feel like this is what it's going to be now. Like, this is what I kind of want it to be. You know, I told Eddie, like, I don't want to necessarily have like a full structure to the show. I want to be able to do fun stuff and like just have conversations about whatever, but also bring in like the talented artists like the Indigenous cats, or like, so I still love having those. I get a lot out of the conversations, even though I know half of those conversations I'm talking the most, but I get a lot out of them, you know. So I enjoy them. So I don't want to not have interviews. But I also want to, there's a lot of cool stuff and like realizations that we have on our own that would be cool to talk about. And sometimes we want to also be able to do this show and contribute to this show wherever we're at. And like me and Eddie having to sit in the studio all the time and do this is, it's becoming increasingly more difficult as other things we're working on find success. So I think that's the best way to kind of to say it. So I like doing the show. Eddie, you like doing the show? Yeah. So I like doing the show, and I don't want to stop doing it. So what we're kind of saying is we're going to do the show any way we can do the show. And then that's just what it'll be. And we'll keep checking in with you guys, and then hopefully we can watch it grow into something cool, and
you'll join us.
Yeah, and you'll join us, and then that way also when we release these episodes, like, because here's the thing, this is what
and I would bonuses.
I would love to hear from you guys on this. Like, I would love to hear, because I want to release a scheduled episode. I don't even know. Do you guys give a shit about that at all? Like, do you care that it's what day it comes out? Because I'm assuming not all of you, well, I know, I see the numbers. Not all of you catch it on the day it comes out. Like, we have episodes that people are still catching that came out a year ago. They're just catching it now. So like, I don't know if the schedule is, I know when all my favorite podcasts that I watch on YouTube, I like knowing the day they come out and what time they come out, because I like to catch them right away. But I guess if you're not a person like that, you don't care.
But if you don't catch it, then you just
I just watch the later when it.
I think that's for us too, man.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. Are we doing that just because we don't want to schedule it, or because that's how people actually watch it? And so what I'm saying is, let them. You guys, at least you guys, if you can tell us how you would normally take it in, or do you care? Because this is my thinking. This is what I would like to do. I would like to give you a normal recorded episode, because when we do these interviews, we have to kind of do them when the artist can do them, or we can schedule them. So we kind of just record those. Obviously we record those, and then we play them back during the show, and then we record these parts all in one day. But I'd also like to do it all in one day sometimes, or back to back, and then just put that out, and, you know, not worrying about the editing as much. And I would like to occasionally, if me and Eddie are hanging out, I would love to just be able to go live on YouTube and do an episode just talking about whatever, you know. There's a lot of stuff that I want to share with the audience about things that we've learned in the industry.
Yeah.
You know, the thing that I can say about myself and the things that I've learned is whatever that has amounted to, at the very least, it's amounted to me being able to only have to do art for at least the last 15 years. So there's a lot of stuff we can talk about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of little things that we kind of learned. And, you know, Eddie's been there all along the way the entire time. He has an insight. He also, like, you know, he runs the ThoughtFit stage. He manages the Invisible Ponchos. There's a lot of different things that we can share that we don't always get to fit in, because we're trying to fit in a bunch of interviews or whatnot. So, yeah. We want to do all those things. Let us know what you guys think. If it's an issue, if you're like, no, we need to come out on one day, like every Sunday, that way we know it's there. I get it. Like I said, I kind of like my podcast like that too. But if you don't care, if you're just like, just put out content, then I feel like I would put out way more episodes. Because like we're gonna do this is the flagship episodes. When you and I are together, that's like the main episode. But during the week, I might call you on Zoom and be like, hey, dude, like, let's do a little Chris Sees the Internet because something cool happened and we want to talk about it.
Yeah.
Or, or I'm just here by myself and I want to just go live and talk to the audience and not do an interview. I want to be able to do all those things. And I feel like if we stick to like, this is what it is, it's this episode and it only comes out on this day, then we're not going to do those other things because it doesn't fit in.
I got you. Yeah.
So if we can just do whatever we want, all under the Chris Sees the Internet umbrella, which is under the platform umbrella, I think we could make way more content.
Let's do this, man.
Because I would love to go live on YouTube and Instagram at the same time.
Oh, okay. That would be nice.
Occasionally, I'm just saying occasionally, but I don't know if we, you know what I mean? Like, well, I also don't want to do that and then line up a bunch of interviews for that. Like, I'd rather just do that and kick it with the audience or talk about a topic.
Yeah, that would be dope.
A topic of the night or something.
For those would be good for that.
Because I really want each one of these episodes to start to become something that an independent or underground artist can just play back and get a bunch of information that they can use like right now.
Right.
You know?
Oh, okay. Yeah, that would be great.
So that would be cool. Plus, the adventures.
Many adventures coming your way. Stay tuned. Did that sound good, man? No? Damn. I tried.
But that's where we're at. So hopefully you guys are with it. What we're saying is that we're just going to keep doing whatever we're doing right now. And then we're not going to put so much thought into structured, scheduled shows, I guess. I don't know. That doesn't sound good either. I don't know. I just want to do more on Chris Sees the Internet, and me and Eddie having to schedule everything takes time. And so, only being able to put out that one episode a week because we're waiting on guests. No, it's normally a guest thing, right? Would you say that?
Yes.
Right. Normally a guest thing. And then lately it's just been the guest thing and us having to rehearse for
a lot of rehearsals going on.
Yeah, for the poncho stuff. So
yeah, man. That's how we're doing it out here. But we're going to continue this journey in many, many different ways. And
are you just trying to say like an overall statement?
Yeah, I think so, man.
Yeah, it's not necessary.
No. Okay.
I think we get it.
All right, man.
Yeah, I feel like like I'm thinking about it like right now at this very moment. I'm like, man, if you've never watched a show and you just tuned in right now, like, are you like, what the fuck are we talking about?
But this is good for the ones that are like when they go through their moments, they're like, if they're doing shows or whatever they're doing, that that this happens too.
They're learning through us.
Yes.
How to maybe just keep going, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, we always talk about showing like what we're going through or how we're processing the next step or the next action that we do, and this is what's happening. Like,
yeah,
it's going through the mind to find out what it will look like or what we're planning to look for it to look like.
Yeah, like I don't like. Yeah, then maybe that's something we can talk about because if I'm being 100% honest, which I am, I don't like the way that the show looks. I don't know if I have the sound down perfectly yet. I don't like the fact that we can't play videos really, you know what I mean, without losing blocked. Yeah, without losing stuff. There's a bunch of stuff that I don't like about it. So, like, everything that we're giving them right now is, like, this is what we can do. For me, at least in my mind, that's the cleanest and easiest to watch and easiest to take in. And if you're listening to audio and And so that's a cool thing that's coming up is I've downloaded all the videos from YouTube and we're going to upload all of those to Spotify. So you're going to be able to watch the videos on Spotify now because they had the Spotify video. And the way that works is like you say you could watch it, and then if you don't have time to watch it, you can just play the audio for it like a normal podcast. So that's pretty cool. So even this episode is, going to be on Spotify. And so that'll be a different audience. I've had thoughts about the idea that I could play music on this show if we only release the podcast on Spotify. That's an option. Because with Anchor, we go through Anchor. Anchor's our distributor. And through Anchor, they distribute to all the podcast places. Primarily Apple and Spotify. So if we decided to start playing music, we could play like any of our friends' music that are on Spotify, and we wouldn't get dinged for it.
We can have special shows like those.
That's what I'm saying. We can do one-offs like those, but I want, if people are just expecting us to just have like, our weekly, say like Sunday episode, what I'm saying is that's going to change. And we don't not necessarily, we can't say it was on Sunday and now it's on Wednesday and that's all. I'm saying it's going to be more. First of all, you're going to get more videos, more content. I'm going to do more stuff on Chris Sees the Internet, but we're also probably not going to be as like structured. I guess I don't know.
I think that'll be okay. I think. I guess I don't know, but I'm thinking that the fans out there or the listeners out there will adapt to whatever we create for them.
Yeah, so. I think you're right on that, and I think ultimately, like when I worry about it at all, I'm always usually worrying like, are they going to understand? But they do, and they always do every time. So yeah, you're right. I'm just thinking out loud, and or as Gene Flo would say, I'm just sharing.
Yeah, that's good. We definitely, it's good. It's part of it. Even like as another lesson for whoever's listening, or if you're in situations, you got to really think it out and
like what it takes to
break
like
it down.
Do.
Yeah,
because I think that part of what this show is gonna, because I was vlogging as well. Remember, I was vlogging,
right?
And I was doing like a weekly vlog, but then I started doing this show and I was like, damn, we talk about everything that we talk about in the vlog on this show. And then there was always this kind of idea of like, is there a way to combine the two? Because like, am I just doing the same work twice?
Oh, I get you.
You know what I mean? And I don't want to do that. Is the vlog and this show like the same thing? And so like, I'd like to just put everything under one umbrella. You know what I mean? Like
that makes sense.
At least for what I'm doing with streaming and, the podcast space. I'd like to put that all into one thing, and it doesn't have to all happen in a studio. It can just happen wherever.
Wherever, yeah.
And they'll get it. Yeah, they'll figure it out. And hopefully they'll like it, and we'll keep bringing you interviews for sure, though, because like I said, I love having conversations. And maybe us putting this kind of behind the scenes look at the conversation that we had with Indigenous cats is the kind of the first step in like the direction that we're going to take. Like maybe we're just going to let you guys watch how it really happens. Like that was as real as it gets.
Maybe that's why we went through that technical difficulties to learn how to, or not even like we've been
to figure out what to give them.
And the universe is like, well, you're going to learn this way now.
Yeah.
And boom.
Yeah, maybe that was it. So
I'm with it.
I feel like we're kind of onto something. But yeah, other than that, Thought Fest was amazing. By the way, we didn't even get to say that. Shout out to 60 East, Invisible Ponchos. We got to perform. It was really dope. Eddie ran the main stage like a G-Dog. There was a lot of people, a lot of good food, friends, vibes. It always trips me out that there's never a fight, like or like at least one that's noticeable. Because I didn't see anything. I didn't see any like security had like a really easy day. And that's super dope because it speaks volumes about the people who support the underground and indie hip hop scene, especially down here in Southern California. So salute to them for being able to have an event like that. And applause to hip hop for, keeping it together. Yeah. Like just putting on a great event. And 60 East, the fact that it comes out of his head and then becomes this thing. It's always dope. Let's see some highlights. Eddie got drunk with the Far Side. Mm-hmm. Or they got him drunk.
Yes, they did.
That's the story you're saying, and you're sticking by it.
They had the bottle, and I just had a cup.
Okay, yeah. So technically, not your fault.
No, they shouldn't have poured nothing in there.
They should not have poured nothing in there. You told them multiple times, my good sirs, please drop the alcohol. And they did. They just dropped it into your cup. Yeah. And then you can't waste it because that comes out of the budget.
Yeah.
But Eddie had an amazing time doing the main stage. Long day though, huh?
Yes, it was a very long day, man.
Did you? How did you recover the next day? I didn't even talk to you for like a week.
I mean, the next day, I think I just woke up in the hotel room and I was like, I got to get something to eat because at the actual day,
I literally forgot that we stayed.
Yeah, actual day. I mean, I didn't really eat till later. I think I might have a sandwich, but all day I didn't eat and I drank alcohol. Anyways, but yeah, the next day I woke up and I was like, I'm going to get breakfast. I went to Wendy's and ate breakfast, but I was hurting for like the next couple of days, man. I was a little sore.
Yeah.
A little sore. I kind of took it in. At first while I was there, I was like, wow, like I did this. I couldn't believe I did. I ran this main stage and it happened, and then
at the 5-year anniversary, to be specific,
the 5-year anniversary, and I was like, wow, like it was a great experience, great thing. I mean, I've done it before, but I've always, done like with yourself. But this time I was on it, and I had some runners that were great. Indigenous cats. I mean, they helped me out, explained to them, my knowledge of like recognition of hip hop faces. And they said, nope, we know everybody. And names.
Because what are their names?
Oh, Indigenous cats.
There you go.
Yeah, see.
There you go. You said some other version right now. You said
damn.
Indigenous?
Oh, man. Yeah.
Indigenous.
But yeah, so I explained to them, and they were like very helpful on that part.
But yeah, overall good thing.
Great,
who were, let's see, everybody killed it. There was, what was a really dope one that I think only a part of the audience got to catch because Sugar Free was on, and we found out that Reverie was going to make a stop by, and I think we had, from my understanding, I'm not sure who it was, but somebody canceled on the second stage. There was an opening, so the times got moved around, and Reverie decided I think they asked her I'm not sure how it went. I think they asked her if she would be down to perform. She said yes. And quite frankly, when she went on, I thought for sure it was going to be rough because Sugar Free was on the main stage. And if you've never been to a Sugar Free show, do yourself a favor and make it part of your bucket list before you die.
It was dope.
Because if you've never seen a grown ass pimp, the pimp of all pimps, perform hits. Like West Coast hits that everybody knows.
Banging, bro.
Crazy. But Reverie went on the second stage and when she went on, I'm saying it's not an exaggeration. Maybe 10 to 12 people in front of the stage. And by the time she finished, that motherfucker was packed.
Yeah.
She went out there and demolished it. Like she had something to prove, it felt like. I was right on the side of the stage watching her perform. Really dope performance. Salute to Reverie.
Yeah,
that was really dope.
Great.
Far Side killed it. It was great to see the OGs smash it and smash Eddie.
Yes, it was a good time.
But just with alcohol, not in any other way. And then let me think. I'm trying to think of like some other ones that just really, really blew me. Neighborhood Kids were dope from San Diego. Shout out to the Neighborhood Kids.
I like the battle in the beginning.
The battle in the beginning. Yes. And Rick Scales from San Diego. Shout out to Rick Scales. He won the battle. He is the Thought Fest champion, the freestyle champion. So that gave him, so he'll be on the stage next year.
Yes.
And he'll defend his championship.
Yeah, he will.
So that's super dope. Rhyme Style Troops, saw them from San Diego. A lot of the San Diego cats were there. The IE rep really Mike big. Eagle. Yeah, Open Mike Eagle.
Was dope, man. Yeah.
Well, he was super. He was one of my favorites. Mm-hmm. He really killed it. Locksmith.
Afro.
Mm-hmm. Amazing. But you guys should definitely go if you've never been to the Happiness of Pursuit Festival. You should definitely go because it was amazing.
Wow, I remember some names, man.
Yeah, you remembered some names, dude. Eddie never remembers any of the names of any of the artists. This is no bullshit. He writes notes next to the names. Like he'll write like blonde hair or funny mustache or missing a pinky or he'll like check. He'll have like his Instagram ready to go before he walks up to them, so he can put his phone kind of like next to their face almost. And see who it is, and that works for him.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it was cool.
Yeah, it was great.
It was long though, and then I think the next 2 or 3 days, everyone kind of just recovered because it really is like running a marathon. You're there from.
I mean, we were there since Friday.
Yeah, and we got Sunday. There that day at what time?
I think probably like 11:30, maybe 11. Okay. On Saturday, about 11. Yeah, because we left the hotel around 10. Yeah, so we got there about 11. Maybe 11:30. No, we definitely got there by 11 because they were the entrance changed at 12. So yeah, we were there.
So from 11, then we left there at what time?
Probably like 1, maybe 12:30.
Yeah. So most of that time on your feet. So
I didn't even want to sit down because I just didn't want my body to get used to it.
Call it a night.
Yeah, I was like, if I sit, then I might it'll just tap itself out.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I just gotta stand up and then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do we have coming up next? So where we're at next, currently this is October 20th when we're recording this. Not sure when this is coming out.
20th? Yeah.
What's today? Thursday?
Yes, Thursday.
So this will probably come out probably not till next week, not till next Wednesday. By then, we will have already done what we're getting ready for right now is So Far. If you guys aren't familiar with So Far, San Diego, not So Far San Diego. We're doing So Far in San Diego. But what So Far is a concert company, I guess you could call it. But they find emerging artists, basically, and then they find really cool venues, put the two together, and go out and find an audience to attend a secret show. They don't know who they're going to see, and they're surprised with emerging really dope artists. And the Invisible Ponchos, it got selected to perform for one of these secret shows.
Awesome.
So it's super dope. If you're an independent artist or you know anything about So Far, it's a dope, cool thing. It's an honor to get picked, and then it's an honor to perform at it. And we will do that on Sunday. We'll try to get some behind the scenes stuff. Well, I'm gonna just tell Eddie.
Yes.
Can you get behind the scenes stuff to play on the next show?
I will. I'll get
like as a for sure thing, because we say it all the time, but we never do it. Like we always come back and go like, we forgot to do it.
No, I will definitely be there.
Because we already said we were gonna do it for Thought Fest, and then now we can't do it for Thought Fest. So Eddie will try to get a little bit of the behind the scenes stuff at So Far, so you guys can at least see what it looks like.
Yes.
But that's what we're getting ready for, and then we're also getting ready for a tour that we can talk a little bit more about later in the season.
Yes, for sure. Yeah, can.
In a couple weeks, we'll be able to give you like a better update on the tour. Mm-hmm. But the tour is super dope, and it's attached to a documentary. Mm-hmm. So that's we're really excited about that.
We'll welcome you a lot more to our inner circle.
Yeah. And it is what it is, y'all. It is what it is. And like I said, we're going to be trying to do way more of these. I'm going to go live on YouTube during the week. I want to give you guys playlists of a bunch of the music that we're listening to and the emerging artists that we talk to and that we have on the show. So there's a bunch of stuff. And as the ideas come in, I've decided we're just going to make the idea and then give it to you. So there'll be a bunch of Chris Caesar Internet stuff. And then hopefully you'll just like it. And then you'll kind of let us know what you like and what you don't like, what works for you, some of the stuff you're like, guys, that's not a good idea. Let that one go. Do all that, man.
Please tell us.
That's how we get down here already.
Mm-hmm.
But shout out to the Indigenous cats for stopping by. Like I said, we're going to have them back real soon and actually interview them as opposed to just talk to them like we knew them forever.
That's awesome.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just like they called their homies and then we recorded it and put it out to the world. But shout out to them. Follow everything they do. Yeah, it's a good intro for them. That's the preface. So now you know the preface, and next will be the interview, and we'll learn more about them. But hopefully, at least it got you curious enough to go check them out on your own.
Right.
And if you catch them in a city near you, please do, and let them know that we sent you.
Please.
And do catch them. They're doing a lot of shows right now, so you can catch them out there, and they got a bunch of music. So follow them, and then we'll see you guys soon. That's all I can say. We'll see you soon. Very soon.
Yes. Take care.
All right. We'll talk to you guys next time. That was the internet, and we saw it.